call this special meeting of the Board of Commissioners to order. The purpose of this meeting today is to have our pre-construction meeting with Butler, Fairman, and Seifert, and our contractor for this year. And to get things off to a start, we'll go around the room and introduce each other, and then we'll get down to business. I'm Dale Strong, one of the county commissioners.
Dale Munson, County Commissioner.
Jeremy Books, Butler, Fairman, and Seifert Project Manager.
Matt Ellsbury, Butler, Fairman, and Seifert Project Supervisor.
Bill Mackey, Bay County Surveyor.
Tim Iron, Midwest Paving.
Doug Denny, Midwest Paving.
Derek Carver, Midwest Paving.
Jay Havlin, Fayette County Highway Supervisor.
John Clark, Fayette County Council, and member of the Bentonville Fire Department, and taken right past my house.
Okay. Gentlemen, where would you like to start?
Well, I've got an agenda, if that's all right, to go ahead and
That's
read out
fine.
to everybody.
That's fine.
Thank you.
All right. As you alluded to, Dale, the notice of award has been made to Midwest Paving for this project, LLC. The construction contract was fully executed back on 8/3/2021. I did reach out to you this morning, Doug. I don't know if you saw my emails a couple hours ago. I didn't see your guys' bonds in our file.
I forwarded that on to our office, and let me see here. She has a COI now, and we'll be sending that on. And we've requested all bonds. As soon as we get those back,
Okay.
we'll get those forwarded over to you.
Okay. So their performance and payment bond, we have not seen that yet, and the certificate of insurance. So we'll definitely need those things in place before issuing notice to proceed. We'll get copies, obviously, to the county as well. Contract time-wise, contractually, the date of substantial completion is November 5th, 2021, with a final acceptance date of November 19th, 2021. Liquidated damages are $500 per day. The award amount of the contract was $2,132,776.38. And I understand Mr. Mang from our office came to the last commissioners meeting and talked about making some reductions to get down to a number that you guys were comfortable with to match up with your funding. I did attach a draft change order for us to kind of engage in that conversation. The one option, and what I think is probably the best, I think is what Mang talked to you about, was reducing or coming close to eliminating the HMA intermediate. And that's what this change order does. It leaves a little bit in there and keeps you right at the $1,534,000 mark, which is my understanding of your funds available. So just to review, the original cross-section called for 2 inches of surface and 1.5 inches of intermediate. Under this scenario, we would do the 2 inches of surface, and there would just be a little bit of tonnage left under the intermediate that could be used in spots. Is essentially what this option would take you to. Nothing else would change on the bid items or contractually under this scenario. I guess, did the commissioners have any thoughts or further questions, or did you know for sure that was the direction you wanted to go, or is it still under consideration?
Well, we wanted to get the project cost down to as close as we could to the $1,333,000,
Okay.
which would have been, our minimum required match in order to take advantage of the full $1 million. So this, if we have to go over, this won't be the first time we've had to do that. But what Michael Mang has done brings it a lot closer than it was originally. Your estimate on the intermediate, or that is pretty much an estimate, right?
It is. I left a little bit of intermediate in there. If you wanted to take out all the intermediate, there's another $98,000 of savings. So I left just a little bit in there. I don't know, I have to look at maybe 1,200 tons between the two roads to be able to just use at spot locations where needed. But it's a pretty straightforward, project. There's not a lot to cut. There's shoulder stone. There's the 2 inches of surface, and there's not a lot of pay items to jump into to look at if we keep the same footprint of the project.
Okay. So
we can continue on. I wanted to make sure that was thrown out there and we kind of engaged in that discussion. The notice of proceed has not been issued yet. As we talked about, we need to get their bonds and insurance, and we definitely need to work out the scope of work, what you guys want to do before we issue them the notice of proceed. Some contractual things, we definitely want a written schedule from you guys before you get started. I realize we haven't given you the notice of proceed yet, but did you guys have a start date in mind that you were looking at?
I mean, a lot of it will determine too, also on the scope. If the scope grows, we're looking right around the end of October, end of this month. So 1st of October into September. But if we're doing a little bit more intermediate to create some wedge and leveling for your surface, which some of the roads could sure use it.
Sure.
But we're looking at last week of September, first week of October, in that time frame.
Okay. So I assume one crew, and you thought about which location you'd start at first and what direction you would go?
Honestly, it's 6 one way, half a dozen another. Right now, I know we're getting our mix out of Morristown. So I know there's a lot of activity on 44 going through town. So that being said, if that's still going on, we may start on the west side, hoping that some of that'll, like I know you got that bridge with the stoplight and all that sort of thing. So hoping that some of that stuff will go away before we go to the east part of the county and then drive all the way through. So, I don't have an answer for you right now other than typically you start far away and get close, but with all the activity going on 44, I'd like to see if that's going to die down a little bit so keep the trucks from stopping.
Okay. All right.
Does the county have a preference?
Yeah, that's a good question. Does the county have any preference on where they start?
I don't. Jay, do you?
Whichever's easiest for them.
Yeah.
I understand what he's talking about, trying to get around all the construction today.
Sure. Yeah.
Going to the west side first, you can go right down the county line to where you want to go.
Right.
About all the 300, you're right in there where you wouldn't need to be.
Yeah, I know if I was doing the job, I'd start at the Wayne County line and come south on 550 west. And then hopefully everything here in town that you got to drive through is complete and out of the way.
Yeah.
Before then, so.
That's kind of what I was, when I drove it the other, last week, I'm like, whew.
Yeah.
It's going to take a while just to get from one end of the county just to get through all the construction. But
Typical work hours is
daylight to dark. 7 to 7,
Gotcha. Monday through Friday?
Saturday.
Okay, Monday through Saturday. Okay.
Obviously, there will be a lot of harvest activity going on.
I'm sorry.
Obviously, there will be a lot of harvest activity and traffic on 550 West, starting here in about 10 days, I imagine.
Yeah, it's no wind, even over there on 450, you'll have the same thing.
Yeah. But Falmouth on the county lines are the main
Yeah.
places they go to haul their grain, which is on 400 South.
Okay. Well, I think that kind of leads into maintenance of traffic. What were your guys' plan as far as that, and were you gonna try to hold the whole width, or what were you guys looking at?
I was gonna ask the question, if we could pull the whole width, if we were able to pull the whole width, that eliminates your joint adhesive and your fog seal, so that saves the county a little bit of money.
Yeah.
But we would have to close sections of the county road, if that's feasible.
They're getting used to it, that's what we do right now. We've got a chip box that goes 20 foot now, and a paver that goes 20 foot. We do the whole thing at one time.
Yeah.
Makes it a whole lot easier.
Yeah. And it eliminates a joint, eliminates maintenance in the future. I didn't know if that was
That is-
acceptable to the county, where we could close the whole road and pave the whole thing at once.
That is what we did last time. Is the county okay with that? I guess between the commissioners and Jay?
And I'm fine with it,
Okay.
because it leaves that seam out of the center and it looks a lot better too.
Yeah.
Save money on joining these.
Nine times out of 10, when you start having failures in the road, it's that joint down the center. So,
Sure. Okay. Well, you guys would need to provide the signage, the closure signage related to that, to make sure that's in place. Give us at least, I don't know, a week's notice, so we know where you're gonna be, and we can get everyone notified that needs to know. Jay, is that something you take care of, or do you need us to help you as far as emergency services, notifying them on closures?
Well, it might be better for them to call emergency services, but we can get the rest of it for them.
what about school buses?
They're usually done by 8 o'clock. I mean, that kind of slows you down. But if the school's been notified, they'll try to keep them out of your way as best they can. If you're just doing one road solid, there's ways they can get around it, so you won't be doing the whole thing at one time real quick.
Right.
But it shouldn't be a problem.
Southern supplier list. Send us that, or if you just know off the top of your head, I can jot them down. You know what subs you'll have on this one.
CGS providing the asphalt. Possibly Milestone, but CGS would be the main point. I want to say it's Indiana Sign Barricade.
I think so, let's just check.
I'm not trying to re-engineer the project, just a question. Your full depth patching, what's the chances of overlaying that with your 2 inches of intermediate and then maybe getting more mileage out of it that way?
I think it's possible. I think we go out and look at it. I think you guys, Matt and Jay, go out and look at it, see if what areas need patched. But yes, we can throw those dollars in.
And I'm not trying to re-engineer the job or
Yeah.
Monday morning quarterback. I just know we've done a lot with Tipton County and several other counties, and everybody has a certain budget they're trying to stay within.
Sure.
And I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel or say this way
Yeah.
others do it, but just trying to provide a question.
Sure. Now we want to maximize the dollars that we've
Sure.
got and maximize the product that we got. So no, it's usually just an estimate on the patching. So if we can go ahead and drill down and actually figure out what we need. I think I had that on there as a bullet point, actually. We could do that anytime. I suggest doing it soon so that we can use those dollars somewhere else.
Right.
It is in the unassigned barricade.
Okay.
Or if that one, what, was it 1.33 million? Is that what you mentioned? If that's a.
That would be their
number to get
preferred,
to.
I think that'd be their preferred number.
Yeah, the base, if the base isn't needed, that would help get there too,
Yeah.
or at least closer.
Patching, yeah. Any other subs? We do have a little bit, or we do call for paint.
Yeah, that's, I think, unassigned barricade.
Okay.
They do that also.
Jay, do you know, sometimes I know we painted them, sometimes we haven't. Do you know?
The last one, we just put a stripe down the middle, that's all we did.
Okay.
That just keeps them, lets them know how much room they got on each side,
Yeah.
and to keep them off that berm. Because some of them areas, you get dangerous when you get close to that berm.
Okay.
On the paint, guys, I've got a question for you, Doug. Do you do the painting yourself, or you got a subcontractor that
No, we have a subcontractor that would do that, and they have, I don't know exact terminology, I call it a long line truck. They're basically a truck that you typically see on the highways, that's,
Mhm.
so Indiana Sign and Barricade, they're out of Indianapolis, and, yeah, they're a pretty big outfit.
Well, I noticed that the price on the paint on this project was fairly competitive, 15 cents a foot, if I recall right. And I was going to ask if, while the painting crew was in town, if they could do a little extra painting on some other roads at that same rate. But I guess we'd have to talk to them about that, wouldn't we?
Yeah, I mean, if you can get us the information, we'll pass it on to them.
Okay. Well, we've got one road in particular that we have gotten numerous complaints on since it was overlaid here. What was it, Jay? 2 years ago we did Alquina Road?
Yeah, I think it was 2 years.
Okay, we've gotten an awful lot of complaints about Alquina Road, people not being able to see the edge of the road, that sort of thing. And if we could get that road painted at that price that's in this quote, I think we could probably find a way to pay for that, don't you, Dale? If I figured it up, I think if I remember right, it's somewhere north of 28,000 feet, I think. But I'd have to check that again. So that one, I don't know, Jay, if you've got as many complaints about that as I have, but I've gotten quite a few about it.
Here lately, I haven't had any complaints on it, but it was bad there for a while, and we put the white stone on the edge of it.
Yeah.
To help,
Yeah,
but they still get over off the edge of it.
yeah. And then there's always the possibility of doing 450 east from 44 on north, to the Wayne County line. So if you would, Doug, if you can talk to your subcontractor on that.
Yeah, certainly will.
Tell them that we might be interested in having some additional painting done here.
How close would it be to either one of these projects? I'm sure that's what they'll ask.
Alquina is at 450 right there when you do 450 on the east side of it.
Okay.
They're all right there at that area.
It's all in the same spot? Okay.
Yeah, Alpine Road intersects with 450 East. And,
Goes right through the middle of Alquina.
yeah, and then the 450 East part of it,
Just
north of
more than across the
44, would
highway.
just be a continuation of what,
Sure.
It's 4.5 miles north from 44.
Okay.
Okay, it sounds like it's edge striping, so it'll be white.
you say the striping was going to be white?
So it's edge striping, correct? You're looking for the edges?
No,
Oh, you're looking down the center?
the center line.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Just center line only.
yeah.
Okay, center line on. Okay, I'm sorry, I misunderstood you when you said they were going off the edge. Okay. so it'd be yellow as well. I had on here submittals. I think the one thing we'd want to see is your just mixed design submittal, so we know where it's coming from and make sure it meets NDOT specifications. You said it's probably coming up Mooresville?
Yeah, CGS.
Okay.
Morristown.
Morristown. Okay. Superintendent that we should be communicating with, is there,
Be me.
that be you?
Yes, sir.
All right, what's your name again?
Darren?
Derek.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty much your emergency contact list there in front of you too.
Okay. Sounds
If you
good.
can't get in, you can, I'm one of the owners, so
Okay.
if it has to go higher than me, we're in trouble.
All right. Do you have a phone number, Darren? Looks like you didn't fill out your telephone.
Is there a line above it?
Oh, okay. Yeah, you've got it. So that's
Oh,
it up there.
sorry, I
Yeah,
wasn't.
okay.
There you go.
I get it. Perfect. 346.
Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, we touched on maintenance of traffic, layout for patching. I guess Darren, Matt, and anyone else that wants to get involved, maybe next week, go ahead and look at the patching. You want to be involved in that too, Jay?
Yeah, just let me know ahead of time, because we're at real chip sealing.
Okay. All right, I guess just so everyone knows, both Matt and Chad Weitzel are out here working on the Connersville Sidewalk project, so they're close by. We'll both be involved. Chad would have been here today, but he had a minor surgery, so he's off for a few days. But he'll be involved too. All right. Quantities, yeah, just get with Matt and Chad, make sure let's stay on the same page. Obviously, it's pretty straightforward on the items, but let's make sure we're on the same page as we progress. We'll run an estimate. I'd hope maybe just one on this one, so I guess hopefully move quickly enough, but maybe two, I guess. Make sure what we typically do is put it into our format, send it to you. You can sign that, and then also we'll need an invoice from you, or if you want to send us your own format, that's fine too. That's our typical route. The estimates, who should they go to first? Should they go to Bill, or how would you like us to route those?
You mean the,
The invoices for the work?
oh, I guess Jay first, yeah.
Okay.
What, did you get him on the last project, Jay?
I got him and I forwarded him to him.
Yeah.
Because he has to pay him, I can't pay him.
Okay, well, I
I'll
don't,
need him for the closeout. That's why I gotta pay
Okay.
the closeout.
well, you can, well, if they go to you first then, Bill, you can make sure that you've documented everything along the way.
Yeah.
If that's the way you guys want to do it, that's fine.
That's fine, I just put it in Jay's box and
Yep.
fix him up.
Okay. That worked last time, we'll do it again. Okay. Right. I think that's everything I had on the agenda. Guess any questions from anybody? You guys have any questions on the plan or?
Any fall festivals or anything like that to be aware of that might create a traffic jam and on the weekends, Fridays, Saturdays?
I'm not aware of anything on either one of those roads.
Doesn't, Alquina, ain't they having something?
Yeah, I checked it out, Quine, they're having some kind of festival.
But I don't remember what weekend it
Let's
is.
see if I can look that up real quick. I would have one question. as a non-contractor, I just test pavement after it's poured, or laid, I guess is the word for it. Somebody explained to me taking out the intermediate, what does that do to life expectancy? If anything.
Sure.
I'm on the fiscal end of having to pay for this, why?
Sure.
I don't want council paying for it again 9 years from now.
Yeah. Well, I think the way Mang explained it to the commissioners, I think it's a good way to put it. There's good, better, and best. You know, the best is having both lists on there, and this kind of puts it down into the better category. You know, there's so many factors in giving you a life expectancy that, you know, I can't really guarantee that. I mean, it's going to help it last longer if I have another lift on there, but it also gives you maybe a little better ride. It kind of helps level things out before you pull that thickness. So the more thickness you have on there, it's going to bridge over things obviously a little bit better. So
Will the aspects of the weight of the equipment run in order? Because I'm, you know, like I've referred to harvest season, and, you know, I've got in my mind that fresh pavement, the day after you open it up, somebody in their four-wheel drive John Deere tractor with new cleats on it, pulling corn down through there, we end up with a washboard.
Sure. I mean, a lot of it comes down to the existing subgrade and the existing materials that you got. So with 2 inches, we're just sort of, it's a maintenance lift is probably the best way to put it. So it helps give you a little bit of strength, helps smooth out things, give you a good ride. You're not gaining an extreme amount of structural integrity.
I mean, and one thing to bear in mind, if you're just putting surface over a rough road, you're not gonna have a baby butt smooth road.
Right.
Because you have different avenue or different levels of compaction. You might be compacting in 1 inch in certain areas of the road. You might be compacting 2.5 inches in the other section of the road. So you're gonna have differences of compaction. So you're gonna have a little bit more of a wavier road versus where you do your intermediate wedge and leveling. You're filling in all those voids and making more of a smooth plane to where you have consistent compaction.
Oh, yeah.
But that's what that is,
Yeah.
the way they're talking about doing is what we did there.
Yeah, you did 2 passes over, didn't you?
Just one pass.
Just one pass?
One pass.
But then again, you know, there's
It
Best,
depends
better,
on what
and-
kind of road you got under.
there's good, better, and best.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we all want to drive a Cadillac, but sometimes
Yeah.
Chevy will get you there too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, John, 550 West is not nearly as bad as some of the other roads we have. I expect it to look and feel pretty good when it's done the way it is. So, but I understand your concern about that.
I mean, it's added 10 miles an hour out on 700 toward Wayne County now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, Jeremy, I got a question. I don't have my copy of the detailed project details with me, but is the crushed stone on the edges of the road still in the project?
It is, yes.
Okay. Jay, and what was the value of the stone?
So on 550 West, the bid amount is $54,000 for the shoulder stone. On 450 East, it's $25,000.
Okay. Well, there's 77,000 we could take out of the cost of this project if you were willing to distribute the stone like we have in other places.
Well, we can do it, but it depends on how much money I got left in my stone fund after we done chip seal. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, oh yeah, I know what you're saying.
We can do it.
Well, I know you can.
But will the realized cost only be the 25%? Because It's a whole 100 with the, you know, them funding 75% of it. Community crossings, would that be 100% realized savings, or just third, or 25% from that 80,000?
I don't know, Bill, what the markup would be on that. You know,
So, yeah, you would save that full amount, because we're trying to get you down to a number. Anything we're saving at this point is 100% yours, because you're getting $1 million
Okay.
from the grant funds, and that's
We'll
it.
use all that.
So anything, yeah, above that is
Okay.
100%. I think that was your question, so.
Yeah.
I misunderstood what you were saying, Bill.
Yeah, it'd be 100% savings, he's saying, towards the county,
Yes,
and not the 75, just the 25%.
but we would still have to pay for the stone,
Yes.
but we wouldn't have to pay as much for it. And what the difference, it wouldn't be $77,000 to us, but using our own crew and equipment, we'd certainly do it cheaper than that, and that would help get us closer to that 1.323 million. That would be ideal. So my question to you, Jay, is how do you feel about that?
Like I said, we got the money there to do it, we can do it, it's no problem.
Well,
We did it we didn't do it on last, yeah, we did it on last one, didn't we?
yes, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, Dale?
I'm kind of lost, actually.
Well, we got to have the stone along the edges, because that's going to change the height of the road and everything. But we know that we can do it cheaper by ourselves when we take it off the grand total of this part.
If worse comes to worse, they're estimating it'd be basically the end of November. Can this carry over and him do it after the first of the year?
Yeah.
Out of next year's budget?
Yeah, or if we had to, we could ask for an additional appropriation, but well, we know one thing, it's not gonna be, just to buy the stone, Jay, it wouldn't be $77,000.
No, it wouldn't be that much.
Jeremy, do you know what the tonnage was on that?
Yes. 2,033 tons on County Road 550. 925 tons on County Road 450, so about 3,000 tons.
3,000 tons. Okay. Jay, do you remember what we're paying these days?
No, right on. I think it was 1065 a ton. I think for the white stone.
It's 31,950. So it's almost half of what it would cost to have the contractor do it. Now, if you're willing to do it, I would rather, want to shave as much off this as we can in order to get within the parameters that we originally wanted to. I know weather conditions and everything else are going to play into
Yeah,
it.
because once it freezes, you can't put it down out of our boxes.
Yeah.
That's how we do it. We got a side, scoot it off that side of that box. You can't do it. It won't run it through. It gets too cold.
And Dale, I would recommend getting it done this year, just from a safety perspective. You're gonna end up with a couple inches of lip out there for sure.
Absolutely, yeah, we want it done this year for sure.
Theoretically, we can start putting a shoulder down in October, 1st of October. Get it done for your season.
Okay, was there any other details that we were able to do ourselves?
I mean, as Doug alluded to, you know, if we make a full pull, we can eliminate the joint sealant. Their bid price is really cheap on that, so there's not a lot of savings there. $15,000. I mean, it's still gets you going in the right direction. There's a little bit of savings there.
You get what, the joint adhesive and the fog seal?
Yeah.
You talking about for the one pole?
Yes, go to the one pole, we don't
Yeah.
have to seal the joint because there is no joint.
Yeah, sure, I think we're unanimous on that. That's,
Absolutely.
that's the best thing to do, for
Yeah.
sure.
I'm just saying there's another 15,000
Yeah.
towards the right direction. And, you know, we can go out and look at the patching and see if there's any savings there. So we've got $42,000 worth of patching on County Road 550 and $20,000 on County Road 450.
Did you make that estimate?
We did. We
Okay.
did, yes. We should go out and drive it, look at it, and see what makes sense.
All right.
What type of patching is that?
It's just HMA, just like the overlay. It's just cutting it down and
4 inches, I think, is what it calls
yeah, 4
for.
inches HMA. I think those are really the only opportunities, Dale,
Okay.
for savings.
Well, we're a lot closer than we were when we started. Okay, what's next, guys? You guys are gonna go out and do a physical inspection together?
Yep. Once we have that piece of information, why don't we get a revised change order to you? I'll take out the joint sealant and the fog seal. I guess you guys let me know on the shoulder stone, whether you guys want to do it.
Yeah. Jay and I'll argue about that off camera.
Okay. And then we'll go and, within the next week, go look at the patching and decide if there's any reduction there. The other opportunity was, as I mentioned, I did save in some wedge and level on the intermediate. There's another 98,000 if you just wanted to say no wedge and level at all as even an option.
Well, when you guys go out and do your inspection, you'll have a better feel for how much of that we may need. 'Cause I wouldn't just reject it out of hand, because I know there's a few places here and there that's going to need some, but
Sure.
we just can't do the total mileage.
So, well, why don't we get you a revised change order next week? How would you like me to come over and meet with you and talk about it, or you want me just to email it and you can follow up with me if you like? How would you like to handle that?
What do you prefer, Dale?
I'd kind of like to come over and explain it, so.
Okay. I'd be happy to do that.
Okay. Well, just let us know when you've got it
Okay.
ready.
Dale, I thought since they're gonna be out there, and I don't live this far down, so I'll give your name out if it happens. The area from 200 north, which is actually 250 because of the way it curves around up to 300. I think there's 3 houses on that road. It's used very, very little traffic-wise. 550, all kinds of Henry County and Rush County people come down 550 all the way to 300 and shoot either east or west going to Fairview or Falmouth. If it came down to needing some intermediate stuff to increase the longevity of the other 300 up to 1,000, to me, that should be considered an option to not resurfacing that little half-mile stretch of road, in my personal opinion. Jay's probably been down there, and it's for the amount it's traveled, I think we may be able to use the money better elsewhere and still fall within our, I'm not trying to, we may be able to reach our goal and still have some money to add some of the intermediate back in places we may need. And they're going to be out there with Jay and stuff. They can maybe take a look at it. And this is just a suggestion from a guy that travels it all the time. There's going to be some tree work done out there before they pave either way.
Yeah. Okay, well, that'll be one thing that they can look at while they're out there, John. Now, while we're at it, would you like for us to put a speed bump in front of your house while we're at it?
No, actually, what I need is a can across the street because if it rains out there, the post office floods.
Okay.
Because the crown of the road is already about 5 inches higher than the level of the post office floor because of all the years the post office has been there and the road's been built up. So, if anything, I need about 6 inch lip on the west side when they go past the post office.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll try to make everybody happy.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. Doug, you got anything else?
No, I keep watching that camera follow me. It makes me nervous, so.
I
At least
told
the less
you.
I talk, the
Yeah,
less it
I
follows
warned
me.
you about that. Yeah. Jay, you got anything else?
Oh, I'm good.
Bill?
No,
Okay. Matt, you haven't said a word.
Yeah, just been soaking it all in.
Well, you feel like that's enough for today, Jeremy?
I think it is, yeah, I guess just to summarize, we're gonna go through the quantities and take a look at them, prepare a revised change order for you guys to review, to get the scope of work down to where we want it. We need to get bonds and insurance from you guys, and then when I come over to review the change order, I'll bring the notice to proceed for you guys to execute, go ahead and get that issued. So, sounds like into September you want to get started, so it sounds like we need to do that here in the next week or two for sure. Get those
Okay.
steps and get them off the run.
Dale, we leaving anything out?
Not that I know of.
Who will schedule the on-site survey?
I think right here, Matt, take care of it. So if you guys want to do that right now after the meeting, I think that'd be great.
Sounds good.
Yeah, everyone here.
Okay. All right. Well, if we feel like we've covered our bases today, we'll just wait until you guys do your inspection, and then Jeremy, you come back and report back what your final recommendation is. And Doug, you estimate realistically first week of October we'll be
Yeah.
laying down the hot mix. Okay, good. That's, I'd say you're gonna have plenty of good weather left to get everything done.
Is that recorded?
Well, I'm not an official weatherman, but I'm
want
gonna
that
hope,
official meeting minutes.
yeah, I'm gonna hope for the best. Yeah, we never know what the weather's gonna be.
No, we don't. No, every day's an adventure, so.
Okay. Well, if we're done with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make motion to adjourn.
We got a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you all very much.